Welcome everybody, Scale Rig Rundown. Glad you guys are here. Hope you enjoy the channel. Subscribe, click the like button. I just started this up. My plan is to make a bunch more videos of rig rundowns, scale footage, you know, getting out there and crawling, whether it's competitions or just trail running with, you know, local guys. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been into RC cars for 20 plus years, and I got into crawlers back when TLTs were the rage and we were taking the axles out of those and making our own rigs. Going to Walmart and Toys R Us and buying scale hard bodies and, you know, figuring out how to put things together and how to make certain things work. Figuring out dig before dig was a thing in RC cars and stuff like that. So it's pretty neat to see where the hobbies come back from then. And what I have in front of me, you guys can't see it right now, but I picked up a Traxxas TRX-4, the Land Rover, and to have on-demand locking diffs and things like that is just mind-boggling. So what I want to do in this video is kind of give a quick overview of the Traxxas TRX-4. This is the Defender, as I said. I have the Bronco on its way too. I got a really good deal on eBay, actually with a coupon, and I figured I want to add that. And then a lot of these videos are going to be just kind of discussions about different rigs, different items, different things. But also, like I said, scale footage of us running, and I took some footage this morning of this out there, and I will overlay some of that during this talk here so you're not just staring at me waving my hands around. But the rig ran really great. I had it in water, some dirt, nothing too crazy as far as rocks went, but it was also hard to film. I was running a GoPro on a gimbal, and I was also trying to drive the rig at the same time. So it's just some footage of it just so you guys can get a feel of it and take a look at it. But as I said, I've been in the hobby for many years. Got into crawlers when they first started coming out, and really before crawlers like we have today came out. And it's crazy to see the difference. I've had some rigs featured in RC Car Action. I did a little bit of contributing. I have here's a shot of one of the rigs I did, an old FJ that had a exo frame and stuff I had done by a company that seems to no longer be around, unfortunately, but they were really great. But I picked the Traxxas up last week. I got it out today for the first time. I'm running just a 2-cell 5,000 milliamp LiPo. Everything else is stock, and I'm impressed. 2-speed tranny, you know, locking diffs, so on and so forth. I'll go over it a little bit because I want this to be an overview of the Traxxas TRX-4 as well as kind of my introduction video. But, you know, guys, if you have questions, comments, whatever you want to do, put them in there. I take a look at them as I go. I'll answer questions. But let's start with kind of a quick overview of the Traxxas. So, obviously, it's a 10-scale electric crawler. 4-link in the rear, 3-link up front with a pan hard bar. What's really neat about this, so there's two different real models. There's the TRX-4 Sport and the TRX-4 Land Rover, as well as the Bronco. So the Sport is a single-speed transmission, no on-demand locking diffs, and I believe that is it. Other than that, same portal axles and all that stuff. The Defender and the Bronco has locking diffs on demand, so there's 2 micro servos that, I almost dropped it, but 2 micro servos up here. One does the front, one does the rear, and it's pretty crazy to play with. I had a real Jeep Wrangler, and that didn't have locking diffs, but obviously the Rubicon does. But it's crazy to think that that has been scaled down to these toys, but it's mind-boggling to me. But anyways, so this video, we're just talking about this a little bit. stay tuned and subscribe because I've ordered a Cross RC BC8 Mammoth, which is a 1/12 scale 8x8 that I should have in the next couple days. I'll do some building videos, maybe some videos as I paint it, and then we gotta see that run. It's pretty incredible from what I've seen online. And let's get back to the Traxxas here. So, like I said, it's a 1.9 scale rig. It's really cool. I dig it a lot. The body's really nice. I like the cage on it. I like the wheel wells. That really keeps a lot of dirt and mud and things like that out of the chassis, or at least on top of where the electronics are. What is also obviously great, all the electronics are waterproof. So today I was running in kind of muddy conditions. It was a little overcast, and I did what I wanted to do, got some footage of it, and then before I came back, I just basically dunked it into the water to get all the dirt and mud and everything off of it, and that's all I did. And as you can see, it's pretty clean. I didn't do anything crazy. Where I was running locally, there wasn't a lot of rocks, stuff like that, but that'll come in due time. I'm hoping to get out over the next couple days and get some more footage and meet up with some guys and go crawling. But really cool. So if anyone's not familiar, so on a crawler, you have obviously four-wheel drive and you have your solid axles. So most rigs are going to come with just kind of locked four-wheel drive, meaning you turn the front tire forward and the other tire does the same exact thing. The axle's locked. There's no open diffs where it can spin opposite each other, is what you're seeing here. And the thing with that is on a street rig, if you're turning both wheels, the outer wheel is going at a different speed than the inner wheel because it has more rotation on the outside. So the inner wheel should be spinning quicker. You don't want that on the street, obviously. So it's kind of neat to have this where you can unlock all the diffs and just run it. And then as it gets progressively harder, as the terrain gets harder to navigate, and you start maybe slipping and sliding and you really are articulating the suspension, you can lock the front, which is the first thing you can do. Or the next step up would be it would lock front and rear. So what I mean by that is the radio that it comes with has this little switch up here. So back, everything is open. Front and rear diffs are open. When you go up one, it locks the front axle. And then when you go forward again, it locks the rear axle as well. So now you're really fully four-wheel drive, axle locked, ready to go, ready to crawl up, whatever you can do. So it's really neat to play with that. Obviously, this has a 2-speed transmission. I found the 2-speed transmission to be really nice. It was just good to put it in second gear and kind of bomb around and kind of walk with me and follow me. And then once I got to where I wanted to go and actually crawl, I was able to put it into low gear and do what I wanted to do. What I did find, like I said, I didn't really do a lot of rocks, nothing super crazy. I had it open, so I didn't have the axles locked most of the time. And it was great. I had a blast using this. And again, I haven't been into it for a long time, so it's the first time coming back to a rig, and it just put a smile on my face. I was pretty stoked to be out there and running again. So that was really cool. One thing I do want to do is you got a lot of weight on the Land Rover body because first your wheel wells are actually built in, not built in, but they're attached to the body, and then you have the plastic cage and the wheel and things like that. So you got a little bit higher center of gravity than you do on the TRX-4 Sport or the TRX-4 Bronco because you don't have the cages and they're both Lexan bodies. They're all Lexan bodies, but you don't have the cage. You don't have the spare wheel up top. The big thing I would want to do, I think, is do a low center of gravity battery. So looking at this right here, the battery sits right here, and this is a 2-cell 7.4 volt LiPo. A company, I can't recall the name of it, they make a low center of gravity battery where it seems to drop it substantially, and I think that'll really give me a much lower center of gravity, so side hilling will be better, hills would be better, things like that. You know, everything's stock on here. I was going to replace the bumpers and stuff like that, but I decided to let's run it, see how it is, and go from there. If things break, upgrade at the time. The big thing I see is the servo is going to need replacing eventually. It's not very powerful, and I've heard people have issues with the micro servos going as far as the axle locking and things like that. But other than that, you know, so far it's been great. I have no worries. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm really digging the features it has, and I hope to keep using it and go from there. Hope you like the overview. We'll add some footage of where I ran today. We'll add some photos, a couple things that we talked about as well. And, you know, stay tuned for the next video and we'll be back. And if you guys have any questions, if there's things you want to see, let me know. I'm coming from a photography background, so I'm going to try to do some more video, which I hope would be really cool, and try to get some cool, great footage of this and the BC-8 when I get it, the Bronco when I get it, and also some other people's rigs that we're going to run with over the next few weeks. So thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you like what you see, and we'll get some more content out there for you. Welcome everybody to this channel of shit.